Virgo, happy solar return. It's the very first day, it came in day early for you this year of your next trip around the sun. And I just thought it was appropriate that you kick off this energy for the quest that we are on now. We just entered through that second initiatory gateway of the Aquarius full moon. And now we are on the road to hopefully hit the mark and make it past that third initiatory gateway that will be coming in with the full moon in Pisces on the 17th of September. That is also a partial lunar eclipse and will also be eclipsing the north node of Aries. So it's pretty significant. It's tying up a period of time that goes all the way back to April 8th when we had the total eclipse in Aries. Okay, so I heard total eclipse of the heart, right? So there might have been something that happened back then that really impacted your heart on a very potent level. And I feel like there may be something around this that's coming back around. It's got sort of like last laugh kind of energy. So let me tell you, I got quite a download that came in for you. I got the song Common People by Colt. And if you're not familiar with that song, I'll put a link to it in the comments after this airs. But I took down these lyrics because I feel like they're pertinent to your situation. I feel like you're dealing with somebody who maybe is like slumming it, or that's how they see it. So in other words, you may be dealing with somebody that has more status than you, or they have more money than you, or some kind of advantage over you. And this person uses this as sort of like a subtle way to cast shade on you. The lyrics that I wrote down to the song are, I took her to a supermarket. I don't know why, but I had to start it somewhere. So it started there. I said, pretend you got no money. And she just laughed and said, oh, you're so funny. And I said, yeah. Well, I can't see anyone else smiling here. Are you sure? You want to live like common people? You want to see whatever common people see? Want to sleep with common people? Want to sleep with common people like me? But she didn't understand, and she just smiled and held my hand, okay? So I think you're dealing with somebody who maybe is trying to rationalize something, or they got some argument that they feel is well-founded, but this person's reached a really bizarre conclusion, and it has everything to do with them not having a realistic view of your situation, a realistic view of who you are. This also may be somebody that has always kind of had it easy, or they've never had to struggle. They've never had to work really hard for anything. Maybe things always were handed to them, or they just had certain privileges that you haven't had. And you've had to cultivate a different side of yourself to make it through the challenges you've been through. I have coming through as your alchemical archetype for this particular quest, the dog star Sirius. And right now, Sirius is, you know, very visible in the sky, always is during this time of year. And Sirius has a really important role to play, okay? Dog star, right? You think the dog star, and it doesn't seem like anything lofty, right? You may feel like somebody treats you like a dog, okay? They just sort of feel like you should come when they call. Again, there's this vibe that somebody thinks that they're somehow in an elevated position over you. And I feel like it has everything to do with the fact that this person has more money, or they have some kind of, in their mind, higher ranking. But the sort of like joke about the whole matter here, even though they may think that, you know, they have some kind of elevated view above you, is that you are far more rich on a soul level. You know, they call Sirius the spiritual sun. And so I feel like as you're entering your solar return here, you also are going through somewhat of a spiritual awakening, and it's founded on the experiences you've been through. You have perspective in a situation that may be at odds or may clash with people who seem to think that they know more than you, but they misunderstand. Their view is illogical, their view is unfounded, and their view is based entirely on their very myopic and limited way of looking at the world, because they can't even possibly comprehend, because they've never lived like the common people. Okay, this energy coming in. So I do feel like it's kind of funny though, because there's last laugh energy coming in around you at this time. And your solar return is just getting started. And I feel like this next trip around the sun for you is going to be a story of total vindication. Okay, he who laughs last laughs the hardest, and I think you're going to have an opportunity to really be laughing for days, laughing joyfully, laughing triumphantly. Okay, because there's something that's really going to be done to balance this out. It's like in some way you have been put down or shamed or cast in a certain light by people who look down their nose at you. And when all comes out in the wash, it's really going to be seen that you're the one who's shining. Okay, your star is on the rise. You would really benefit from spending time stargazing at night, maybe focusing on Sirius as well and thinking about that. It's like, okay, you may feel like you have a lot of challenges, or you could be going through a sort of dark passage in your life, but you have that bright light inside of you. You have that light of Sirius shining inside of you. Your spirit is very strong, and it's your spirit that is going to get you to the other side of the challenges you're facing. And I do feel like when it all comes around the bend, it's a tables turn sort of moment. And yeah, I think you're going to teach people something about judging a book by its cover, judging things by surface appearances. You have something to teach these people. And I think this is going to come through them going through a dark passage and maybe finding that they don't have the usual resources they have to fall back on, or they don't have the allies they're used to having show up in their corner. And this is going to be the first time I feel like a particular character you're dealing with has ever had to really fall back on themselves. And, you know, they're going to be looking to you because all of a sudden they see that you have this richness of inner light that can guide them. All right. Bottom of the deck energy. Yeah. You're not trapped. You're not stuck. Your mind is free. You know, where other people may have freedom in terms of, you know, their finances or their station in life or certain things they have access to that you just don't have yet. I feel like your mind is liberated from a certain kind of social conditioning, you know? You don't buy into the programming. You didn't, you know, drink the Kool-Aid. Like, you have free agency in your own mind. And that makes you so far ahead of the game. And this will become very clear as things sort of roll out in this next trip around the sun, and especially in this lunar cycle heading up to that full moon in Pisces on the 17th of September, that eclipse energy. Okay, so what wasn't seen, what others can't see at that time, you see very clearly because you have a certain perspective. All right, let's get some information coming in here for you about this quest ahead for you. We're just going to touch in on this. I'll bring more in down the road as we get closer to that full moon. It's a very important moon of karmic balancing and tying up that cycle back in April. So think back to April, what was going on then? Okay. Yeah, there's something here that you're finally going to have what you need to move forward. You're not going to be in a stuck position anymore. Maybe you've really wanted freedom for a long time, but you felt like you didn't have the means. Okay, you didn't have the financial means to make the moves you wanted to make. Some of you, it might be an actual move, okay? You didn't have the ability to take certain actions because you were dealing with certain material limitations. Somebody may have held this over your head. They may have gloated. They may have felt like they had an advantage over you because you were dealing with this limitation. But this, like I said, is a tables turning moment. And I feel like you are getting what you need to move ahead. You could be closing cycle with somebody who's just super stubborn, really rigid. They're not able to look at anything with any kind of broader perspective. They're just used to a very limited scope of existence because they've never had to have their metal tested. 11:11 on the clock when I went into that. But you're already aligned, okay? So you have a certain strength. I feel like there's a super strength that's coming forward in you, and it has everything to do with the light that's building inside of you. And it's that light that got you through the tough times. And it's that light that's going to light the way ahead. And it's that light that's going to see your star on the rise. So I do feel like there's some moment of recognition that's going to come in for you. I feel like that moment of recognition will be seen. It will be recognized by others. In other words, this isn't something that's going to go on behind the scenes. This is something that is going to take center stage. For some of you, it is you taking center stage. In some way, you're being showcased or celebrated or acknowledged. And it's something that is seen on a wider level, okay? This is something that is seen in your community. It is something that is seen maybe even beyond that. For some of you, you might be stepping up into a position of visibility or a position of power, but something is really shifting here for you. And this is going to feel really good, but it has everything to do with you continuing to follow through and trust your own understanding of situations and not buy into this crap that people are trying to fill your head with, because the truth is they're kind of getting nervous as they see that you're not stuck anymore, okay? It's starting to bring up their insecurities. It's starting to bring up their fears as you start to move toward your freedom. That's what it really is. This is a brand new cycle that's starting for you. Your road is opening. You're getting moving. Some of you have had actual vehicle challenges, okay? I do feel like that's going to be resolved. I do feel like you got, a new ride coming through here. I do feel like you're going to be moving forward very easily. All you have to do at this time is just trust that light you're building inside. Trust your spiritual understanding of situations. Trust the flow, okay? Go where you feel pulled and don't question it. It will all line up for you. This is facilitated because you did let go of control. At some point here, you threw up your hands and you said, okay, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to move forward? I don't have what I need materially. So, what action do I need to take here? Some of you did sit underneath the stars. You wished on stars. You sent up some prayers to the heavens. You asked for a rescue, okay? This is spirit coming on through. You might be closing a cycle with a Taurus. You could be closing a cycle with an Aquarius, a Leo, or a Scorpio. You could have one of these signs. Maybe you were really stuck for a while because you had fear around this change. You knew it was going to be really monumental. You knew this was no light matter, okay? But I see you just dancing your way through it. You're going to feel so much freedom on the other side. And there's success for you here. This is time to celebrate more than just, another year to get to step into the experience that's on offer to you. I feel like there's a lot of expansion that wants to come in for you this year. Everything brand new. It's going to be like a fresh breath of air coming in after a time when you've been like waiting to exhale. Okay, so this is really beautiful energy. A lot of success coming in here. I'm curious about what's working for or against you. I mean, I feel like right now you feel very burdened and you may still feel like you're in the dark in this situation. You're not quite sure how you should move forward, all right? But you need to trust. You're moving forward and you're going to move forward very swiftly. Your real rapid progress comes in the fall, and do look for October to be a key month for you, especially once we hit that mirror moon to the Pisces full moon. That will be a super moon, also known as the Hunter's moon, coming in Libra, also on the 17th, okay? But there's no eclipse energy there. All lights are on in the room. You're going to know exactly where you need to direct your energy. And not only are you going to shoot for the moon, but you're going to hit your mark. There's going to be a lot of clarity about your relationships at that time. So where you felt really confused back in April, not so much anymore, right? Something is going to really crystallize here, and you're going to have a clear sight about where you need to go. Here's your energy right here, okay? You could have finally walked away from an ex. You made a judgment call. It was something that you were nervous about doing for a long time, but you finally just, had to act on your truth. I see you had to draw Fragorock, the sword of truth, and you had to clearly delineate something here. And it could have been with an emperor energy, all right? For you, this could be a Taurus. This could be an Aries here. I feel like whatever this is, you had to stand up to somebody, and you had to really represent what you knew was true for you. And this was the moment you stepped into your power. Okay, so I do feel like you had to break away, maybe from even a crowd of people, and you had to go your own way. And this is what really is your ally on the path. This gave you a lot of strength and a lot of insight that others lack. And you'll see how this plays out down the road. Let's see what the lay of the land is for you as you're moving forward during this lunar cycle leading up to that full moon. Partial lunar eclipse in Pisces that's affecting that north node. Okay, so for a while you may have felt like you were kind of meandering and just trying to get by, and none of your actions really had a certain destination in mind. You just knew you wanted to get free, but here it comes, okay? Spirit's about to pour a blessing into you. There's some new beginning coming in here, and it's just for you. This is to fill your cup. This is to fulfill you, all right? After a time of experiencing so much disappointment. And I think you were wondering, like, where's my celebration? When do I get to heal? When do I get to the other side of this? I'm tired of sitting with the pain. I'm tired of sitting with the loss. And Spirit's bringing it on in here for you. Whatever this is, it's totally going to light your fire. It's going to light you up again. You're going to feel your independence, just really surging within you. And you're going to be looking good and feeling good and wearing it well. And I feel like this is also going to be recognized. I think you're going to be drawing in a great deal of attention, okay? You could be dealing with a fire sign energy as well, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Now, if you were dealing with an Aries in the past, they may be seeing you differently now. They might have a different perspective, maybe because they're going through some challenges themselves at this time, and they're seeing the way that you moved through a particular situation with a lot of strength, a lot of courage, a lot of fearlessness, I'm hearing, and grace, okay? So you might be surprised how much you're inspiring this person, though they may not tell you this, okay? And this could have been this emperor type that you dealt with in the past. All right, very interesting here. So I do see you stepping up into a greater position of visibility. I do feel like you're going to be feeling really good. You're going to feel like you're back, like your fire's back, At one point, somebody put out your fire, and now it's really stoking. So I like this for you, Virgo. Let's see what the heart of the matter is for you as you are moving through this lunar cycle. What is the heart of the matter for Virgo? What is the heart of the matter for Virgo? What's the heart of the matter for Virgo? We know that this is all about moving through the cauldron of Dagda energy. We're hoping to get to the Stone of Destiny this year. Last year, we all got caught up in the cauldron of Dagda. We've been moving through some heavy-duty healing energy, okay? So at one point, you felt really stuck here. You may feel a little bit of this still. You might just feel like, okay, I'm seeing progress, but it feels like it's so slow. Like I'm really trying to trust that there's going to be growth by me investing in this direction. You might be a little bit nervous about it, and you might have some financial concerns. You might be, seeing progress, and that feels good, but it's like it can't happen fast enough, all right? I think this is like your main concern in this arena, but I don't feel like you need to worry about this because everything shows that you got a key. You got an inner key. You gained an inner key here. And you're not trapped, okay? So remember when you feel like that to give yourself a pep talk, okay? That's time to put on your montage song. Maybe you need to put on Common People, and remind yourself that, yeah, I've been through some lean times. I've been through some tough times. And I always rise to the challenge, and I'm still here. I'm still here. And beyond being here, I got a lot of heart. I got a lot of soul. I'm the comeback kid and I'm going to make it. Okay. So there's something about pumping yourself up when you feel like that, because I do feel like you're at a montage moment and the pressure might really feel like it reaches a critical point before you get that moment when you get to break on through. I'm getting a lot of music stuff coming in for you. So if you're a musician and you've been kind of like putting that aside because you've had more mundane concerns, now's the time to fall back on your music and let that really support you, right? I think it'll benefit you a great deal. And even if you're not a musician, put on some music. Music's your ally right now, okay? Music's your ally right now. Maybe even put together like a montage playlist, like get you really stoked and fired up when you feel really challenged or when you start feeling sorry for yourself. I do feel like you'll have some moments like that, but I do believe you'll also breeze through it. Okay. So there might be some consequences that you have to deal with that you're like working out. Most of us are. We're still kind of clearing out the last little remnants of these karmic cycles, especially in terms of our relationships and those we've been dealing with personal challenges with, and those apply to all different kinds of relationships, not just romantic. So let's see what consequences you might be dealing with at this time in regard to past actions. Yeah, I mean, I think that you might be dealing with, some heated arguments. You might be dealing with some opposition here. You might be dealing with some competitive energy as well. Maybe people trying to edge you out of your spot or trying to beat you to the chase with something you really have your sights set on. I do feel like at times maybe you tried to do things sort of a little bit sneaky, or some would say that you were too strategic, that maybe you kind of were working people or you manipulated situations. This is just what potential arguments may be about. But I think you knew that you were dealing with some shady people. And you could already sense that a tower was going to fall before it ever arrived on the scene. So you kind of knew that you had to, like, be mindful about your steps. You had to figure out an escape plan. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. You knew that at any moment the rug could get pulled out from under you. And I think there was some kind of instability there that was really being provoked. For some of you, you had a lot of instability at home, or you had instability around your foundation, like something really rocked you here. This could have been a major health challenge. This could have been some kind of loss in relation to your finances, a business you were building, a relationship where, there was a solid foundation with this relationship. This is nothing minor. This is like something long term that you'd been building on for a while, but something proved that it couldn't pass the fire test of truth here. And I do feel there's been a lot of fighting, there's been a lot of arguments, and maybe you had to just sort of like find a way around these challenges because you realized there was no way to talk sense into these people. Their position was illogical. They had an illogical argument, they've reached really bizarre conclusions. They've justified actions in a really incomprehensible way. That's what I feel. It's sort of like you're looking at this person like, what? What made you think that this was, an accurate assessment of the situation, or this was the right way to handle this matter? That's what I feel, okay? You're dealing with one of those situations. And you might have even tried to talk some sense into these people. And whatever you had to say just fell on deaf ears. Oh, they'll be seeing things your way down the road. Watch. And I feel like this is where you're going to be, okay? So you've been taking care of yourself, You're doing your best to just be unbothered, You're enjoying the simple things. You're working hard, one foot in front of the other. You're taking care of yourself. You're paying attention to your health. You know that health is wealth. And like I said, money is looking good, okay? It's looking good. So you may not realize that right now, because I feel like you're just starting to take some serious action and maybe really knuckling down and getting a lot more focused with your business objectives. You may actually be starting something new. Some of you are starting some kind of side hustle here, and you really hope that this will grow. It will. This is going to be extremely successful for you. Okay, so some of you are working like a Joe job, and then you got like your dream gig, and you're finding a way to devote some time to really build this up. And I see it's going to take you places. It will. It's going to take you places. Okay, so I feel like you're getting a reward here. That's what it looks like to me with the 9 of Pentacles there. So you've already laid down the groundwork here. You've been working really hard. And these people have been, maybe giving you a hard time because you don't have the flashy things, or you aren't allowed in the same rooms that some of these people have found access to, okay? Oh, but their awakening moment is coming, okay? So somebody's going to be seeing things a lot differently here when the karma rolls out. You're moving away from troubles, but somebody is just about to sort of like have to sort through their troubles from not really knowing who you are. Somebody here just really underestimated you. That's what I got. And it's a disillusioning moment. It's like the glamour falls away. Now somebody's recognizing who you really are, and it's coming as a shock to them. Okay. You could be dealing with water sign energy, Scorpio coming through pretty strong. We also have Pisces, Cancer energy here. You could be dealing with any of those fixed signs that we brought in. Okay. Aquarius, Taurus. You could be dealing with a Virgo like you, or another earth sign. Taurus coming through pretty strongly. Could also be a Capricorn, okay? You're dealing with air sign. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, right? Pretty strong Cancer energy coming through there too. You could be dealing with a mother in this situation. You could be a mother, right? And maybe somebody is, doubting your ability to be able to really follow through and show up as a mother, maybe because you're dealing with some kind of financial hardship or challenges. You feel like you got something to prove, all right? And you're just about to have this person eat their words. This is you really taking a very strong action. This is going to come in for you in the fall. I do feel like by the time you hit that full moon, on the 17th of September in Pisces, you got like the torch to light the way, while others are still fumbling around trying to find the matches just to get a little fire going, okay? Yours will already be well underway there. That's a very big alchemical point for you. Okay, so look for that to be an important full moon for you. There's something that will really light up the way to your destiny. I feel like you're going to make it, man. You're going to be on the rise. You're going to be on the rise. I feel that your star is on the rise. That's the energy that's coming through. And does that mean fame? I feel like you're going to be famous in your own right, however that looks for you. If you're in the industry, you may get a lucky break. It very well could happen. Sirius could be your lucky star, let me tell you. Okay, so maybe there's something you're broadcasting on Sirius. Okay, interesting. You might be hitting the airwaves, all right? Or you might be getting interviewed, or you might be launching a podcast. This is possible. but I also feel this is just the recognition and word spreading. Oh, remember everybody said that about Virgo back there? Look at Virgo now. Oh my, did you hear about Virgo? I think the tongues are going to be wagging. I think tongues are going to be wagging because people are going to be talking, but also because they're going to be like, you know, I think people are going to be looking at you quite differently. And I do think with that Queen of Wands energy, you're going to be looking quite attractive, right? You might experience some real makeover. It kind of takes people by surprise how much your appearance changes over this cycle. All right. This sounds pretty good. What power are you going to be gaining during this cycle, Virgo? What power are you going to be gaining? Oh, I like this. Well, you're no longer going to be waiting for your ships to come in because they're arriving. Okay. So I feel like this is the place where you've been. You've been trying to, you know, really invest more energy, working harder in order to get something to come in here. And this is what I'm getting. It's almost like you're not going to be working harder. You're going to be working smarter. And you're going to realize, wow, I was investing my energy in the wrong way. In fact, something's coming in here that's going to move you into this position of power. It's like something's being facilitated for you here. What is this? Look at this. Bottom of the deck energy, 6 of Wands. Yeah, this is your victory lap, okay? So like I said, big success for you. I think it's going to take you by surprise. It's going to surprise you when this hits, okay? There's something that gives you a big level up, and it's because you decided to switch something up, or you will. Something's going to come in here that changes the game because you start doing something differently, right? You're doing something differently, and it's that makes all the difference. And I feel it's because it engages you more, it excites you more, it lights your fire. And that for you is really the key. All right, so you're mastering this. You're starting to really understand what's worth your effort, what's not. And I feel this is part of it too. You're like pulling out your investment from situations where it doesn't yield anything. You're not getting anything out of it. It's a waste of your time. And you're instead lining up with, you know, what pours back into you, where you are seeing immediate return. Maybe you were willing to kind of like stick it out. I'll take the long route. Now you're like, no, I'm ready for some instant gratification here, and it's coming. Okay. Whew, this looks good. Okay. So what's at stake for you and those you care about here as you move forward? What are you kind of aware of, focusing on? What's at stake? Look at that star that's on the rise. All right. You do want to experience some kind of healing here. And I do feel like you're entering into this lucky cycle where there's going to be so much pouring into you. And there's that, you know, dog star Sirius right there lighting the way for you. So I think this is great. You've really come into a place of balance. You're in a place where you're doing some reflection and some healing work, but you're not so fixated on it that you become self-absorbed. You do have, you know, a foot on the ground here. So you are rooting yourself in your house's power, which is the 6th house that's all about, you know, doing the work, lining up things in a way that makes sense, you know, creating a balanced schedule. And this is giving you a grounding point too, just as you're moving into that expansion. I mean, that's something that could make you feel a little overwhelmed, but I feel like your work is also your saving grace. It's really helping you move through your emotions. It's also transforming the way you see yourself. Okay, so there's something really changing here, and this feels really good. All right, really good, Virgo. Let's see. Okay, so what's at stake for this, you know, new world you're creating here? What's at stake? Look at that. There you are. This is you and your power, Queen of Pentacles energy. So we know you started with the Knight. Look at the progression. You may be wondering how it's going to turn out. Big level up energy. This is pre-Empress, pre-Emperor energy. All right, so your star is on the rise, your finances are increasing, your stability is increasing, but what's going to feel so good to you is it's like it's all you. You did this. You didn't need anybody to bail you out. You didn't need anybody to give you a leg up. This was you. And maybe this was you investing in something that everybody laughed at, or they're like, oh, they'll never make it, or they put you down for dreaming big, and you're going to have the last laugh. I'm telling you, this looks really good here, okay? Let's see what the cookie is. I mean, it looks like you already got a lot of stuff to look forward to here. So hopefully this reading is inspiring you if you're going through some challenges. I mean, I do see there's some conflict here. I do feel there's times when you have self-doubt. I think you are dealing with some people who might rub it in your face that they got more than you do, or they're ahead of you. Like, I feel like you deal with some competitive people. And this could be financially, yes, and socially, yes, maybe even romantically, all right? Look at your cookie. The Ten of Cups, okay? This is ultimate fulfillment, all right? So this is looking really good for Virgos. And this is for any Virgo placement, okay? Or if you have a prominent placement in the 6th house. Also, if you're a Pisces rising, you'll really feel this going on in your relationships, okay? Because that's your descendant sign. And the descendant sign tells you a lot about what is the status of your relationship. So, hey, you know, if you're a mom, if you're a single mom and people have been giving you grief about this, or saying, oh, nobody's ever going to want to be with somebody who has kids, you know, you're going to be single and you're never going to find somebody to, you know, partner with. You're never going to have that family you want. Hey, maybe you're a single dad, okay? Not so. You might have this dream of, you know, coming together with another in the right way, where you see eye to eye and you truly appreciate each other and you can have that happy home that you always wanted. I do feel like there's some real happiness coming in here. You got through a storm and there's great reward. You'll probably see this really starting to, you know, peer through the clouds in October, okay? It looks good. There's something to celebrate here. Right now, though, you're just like, I just got to keep going. Okay. So I do feel like this is where you're at. You've been working really hard. You're tired. You've had to really be in a defensive position. I feel like you've had a lot coming at you. It's been one thing after another, you know. Some of you have really taken on a lot of extra work too, because you needed to, just to be able to make it. And you may have always been like in this position of just wondering what was going to come at you next, because every time you felt like you got a little bit ahead, something would come to knock you back down, all right? I feel like you've been through a lot, but you're just about to the other side of this, okay? So relief is on its way. All right, let's see what the target is. What's that target you're going to hit with that hunter moon that comes in? Ooh, you got a strategy in play here. I think you already have an inkling about this, all right? I feel like the target you're going to hit is the block, the one last block that's in your way. You're strategizing about this right now. There's some roads you want to open so you can move forward toward a big dream, okay, a big goal that you have. I don't feel like that's going to start to come into view until October, but this is sort of what you're plotting right now. And this is what you should put your energy into, like, how can I eliminate this block? Is there any clue about that for Virgo, just to like cap this off to help them out? Is there any clue for Virgo about this, about how they can eliminate this block or support them in this strategy? Again, could be dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, in connection to this. All right. Okay. So there is an Empress energy at the heart of this, and I feel like this is you, all right? So first of all, there's something here about narrowing down options. I think up to this point, you might have been exploring a lot of different options. And where you really were lacking the investment is maybe in scattering your energy too much with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh, let me keep a foot in the door just in case it doesn't work out over here, then I can head in this direction. And that can be in anything. This can be with work situations. This can be in certain social circles. This can be in relation to lovers, okay? But there's a point here where you recognize I got to drop the options and I got to get single-minded focus here. Okay? Single-minded focus about what my heart is really invested in, what I really want to grow here. And I feel like you're going to bring an end to the options, and you're going to finally explore this option that you've been afraid to really dive into. And I feel like this is the new beginning that's coming in. Remember, you're getting that Ace of Cups. All right. So this is not revealed to you yet. This is going to come in. When this comes in, it's a gift from Spirit. It's going to make you realize that you could strategize all the live long days. So it's sort of like you've been strategizing how you can open your road. You got to let the road be open for you. This isn't about you strategizing, because you don't see this gift that's up ahead that is going to change everything for you. It's cloaked right now. It's hidden. But there will be a revealing moment that comes in this lunar cycle. It makes it very clear what you're invested in, where you're going, where you should put all your focus. And once you get your, heart really aligned, heart to the wheel, your chariot's going to move forward. And I see you just doing nothing but rising up into that North Node position. So we had Emperor earlier to Empress, okay? So this could be getting through a whole ball of confusion and finding the way that things come together in the most beautiful way. You could be dealing with an Aries. You could be dealing with a Taurus. You could be dealing with a Libra in this situation. I also feel this is something's finally settled at that South Node. You realize I've paid my debts paid in full, and now I'm free and clear, okay? This is going to feel really good to you. All right, let's just do a cut of the deck to cap it off. This looks great. Look at this. Look at you. So there is something you are cutting off here, because I see Queen of Swords, King of Swords. So there's something that you are firmly leaving behind in the past. You feel very clean about that. If you're reviving anything, which is possible in some cases, because you did have the Magician come out, which can be about reviving a connection. If you are reviving something, there's a firm line drawn under the past. You're not going back from where you came. There's been a transformation that's happened in this situation. Something's been balanced out here, and it's beautiful. Now there's a pouring into one another. So you're alchemizing that shit. I like it. Yes, yes, yes. This looks good to you. Okay. This looks good to you. That's what I feel. You're going to feel like this looks real good to you. You're going to like what comes on through, okay? There could be a Sagittarius connected to this situation. Also, ninth house of Sagittarius, this is about a lot of luck coming in. This is about a sense of optimism coming through after a time of heaviness. I also feel like there's opportunities for expansion here, and maybe even a little travel, all right? Looks good, Virgo.